Trump campaign senior advisor, Corey Lewandowski. Corey, good to see you today. Some big news that just came out. Me and Katrina were just talking about this. I think this is such a terrible look for Biden's DOJ, Democrats as a whole. If they truly believed that what they were fighting for was just and right, they would never just move to dismiss this case. They would keep fighting it tooth and nail to the end. It screams that this was lawfare. Yeah. That's how it looks. Corey, what say you?
I say what the American people knew and what Donald Trump has now proven is that there's a two-tier justice system in this country, which is going to come to an end on January 20th. We've seen a former president, now the president-elect, being prosecuted solely because of his political beliefs. He didn't break any laws. And if that were the case, that he did break laws, Jack Smith would continue to go after him. But the reality is that Jack Smith's trial and his charges against Donald Trump were a complete sham, just as they have been in the state of New York. And so what we saw in Florida now, in Washington, D.C., and in New York is the vindication that Donald Trump did nothing wrong and that he was only prosecuted because they didn't like his political stance.
Corey, want to read or share this statement from Stephen Chung, the Trump communications director. The American people reelected President Trump with an overwhelming mandate to make America great again. Today's decision by the DOJ ends the unconstitutional federal cases against President Trump and is a major victory for the rule of law. The American people and President Trump want an immediate end to the political weaponization of our justice system. And we look forward to uniting our country, similar to what you just said there. But once again, in complete contrast and contrary to what Democrats have been, I'll say, warning the American people of, that if and when Donald Trump gets back in the White House, he is going to, quote unquote, go after people. And we've heard from you and also from the president himself, that is exactly what he does not plan to do.
Well, what Donald Trump is going to do, and what he's been very clear about, he's going to put the blindfold back on Lady Justice, which is what it's supposed to be. And people will be prosecuted not based on their political beliefs or their race or their ethnicity. They will be prosecuted based on the crime that they've allegedly committed. And that has not been the case under the Biden-Harris administration. And the people were tired of it. So Lady Liberty gets her blindfold back on. Lady Justice gets her blindfold back on. And we make sure that all the laws of this country are applied equally to everybody. Now, that being said, I'm very anxious and hopeful that the new Attorney General nominee, Pam Bondi, is going to ensure that the justice system is no longer politicized in the sense of going after people because of their political beliefs. But we will hold people accountable who broke the law over the course of the years to use their badges and their guns to go after American citizens when they weren't entitled to do so.
Corey, let's talk about holding people accountable. $50 million, that's the reports for Jack Smith. That's what he spent on going after President Donald Trump here. What say you about that?
Well, not just the $50 million of taxpayer dollars. How about the hundreds of millions of dollars Donald Trump has had to spend to defend himself against these baseless accusations? Where does he go to get his money back or his reputation back? Listen, I know he's going to be the president of the United States, but at what point do people get held accountable for not following the rules? Whether they're lying to FISA court, whether they're lying under oath, as Andy McCabe did on multiple occasions. We call that perjury when you lie under oath. When do those people get held accountable? When do the Democrats who have been held in contempt of Congress be held accountable like Stephen Bannon has been and like Peter Navarro has been? It is time to bring justice back to a system that has been an injustice to the American people and treat everybody the same.